For a brand new week, guys, welcome back to the show on MX24 TV. This is the AM Club, your favorite morning show. My name is Godwin Nambo. It's time for Lifestyle Daily. Before we look at the stories that have been making the rounds on social media and in the news, I'm going to quickly ask you what your level in the French language is. Now, your ability to communicate in the French language gives you an upper hand in your education, your career development, and even your travel experience. So go to Alliance Française in Accra. Alliance Française, they will help you develop an all-round language skill set that is reading, writing, and speaking in a multicultural and multinational environment. Alliance Française have experienced and professional teachers. They have flexible time schedules. They also have in-person, online, and hybrid classes. They have French for teenagers and children above the age of 3. So to register, call 050-128-7814, 050-128-7814, or WhatsApp them on 050-128-7818, or visit their website at afaccra.org. Antoine, I'm having the Monday blues, but we'll get over it. It's time for Lifestyle Daily, like I said, and introducing my guest this morning. To my immediate right, he's no new face to the AM Club. Reginald Achesu Boateng, Programs Coordinator for School for International Training. Good morning, boss.
Morning, Chairman.
Looking fly in the political suit. I was telling you. I need one, please. Let me call your tailor.
Well noted.
And then also to my far right, I have Derek Ejekum, who is a youth activist. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you too. Looking nice in your African wear, and I'm looking like an European. And it's all good. How's it going?
So far, so good. I think this is my first time being on the show this year.
This year?
Yeah, so a happy new year to all your viewers and your listeners nationwide. And again, I mean, MX24 always gives the platform for young people to also come and share in national discussion. So thank you so much for the platform. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Absolutely. How's your friend I say you're doing?
Haha, she's very fine. You remember her?
Oh, remember her?
She's doing so well.
I'm a first niece. I remember her very well. I told you I have a gun in my house in case.
That's fine.
you want to misbehave. Anyways, Derek, you?
Yes, good morning to your viewership across the globe. Today is my first time visiting MX24, and I must commend you for the setup and all of that in here. And a very good morning to my boss, Honorable Vicente Kwasifua, for his mentorship, his training, and his guidance.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's get into it, gentlemen. The weekend and its happenings. Which stories caught your attention? Maybe we'll look at a few and then get into it. Definitely, we're discussing the Good for Oil program, which has been the major one, the major headline for most news portals. But what are some of the stories that have caught your attention over the weekend?
I mean, when you're on Twitter and you are an MTN user, you definitely might have heard of the 15% increment in MTN data costs. And of course, increment in electricity, water bills. These are things that are affecting us directly, and so it is impacting our lives, and we are hearing of those. And when you're talking about the things that are making the headlines, these are one of them. The Gold for Oil, which I think is also one of the field policies, is also one, and several others. I don't know if you want us to go into them real quick.
We'll definitely go into them.
All right.
Yes.
So, I mean, these are my headlines.
Okay. Derek, you?
Likewise, the fantastic and brilliant idea by His Excellency the Vice President, that is the Good for Oil, is making waves. And I believe as youth and concerned people, these are things that we need to look at. The increment in the electricity and then the water tariffs as well. As consumers and then as people who are the end users or the payers of these tariffs, I think these news or these headlines making waves are things of concern. And so, yes, these two are my critical headlines that I paid attention to.
And let's focus on the main one, which is the Good for Oil, like we both have mentioned.
Thank you.
And address. Reginald, you can't wait to jump into it.
Oh, no. I'm just taking my time.
We've received, we've received over 41,000 tons of diesel, somewhere 15th January.
Is that good for you?
Yes, please.
No, that's what the Vice President said, right?
Yes.
But the Bank of Ghana cannot prove that.
Tell
And so
me
we
why
do not. Oh, no, I mean, this is news out there. The Vice President says that this is our first consignment, but it cannot be proven. But then again...
When you say cannot be proven, what do you mean?
No, because the Bank of Ghana cannot prove that.
Okay.
It is meaning gold has left for oil to come. They cannot prove that. But then the Vice President says this is our first consignment through the program. But even before that, I don't know which group of people sat in a room to come up with a policy or a program like this. It is a very lazy approach. Why do I say so? Gold as one of the commodities that you use to save value. So what I mean is, in the year 1999, 1 ounce of gold was selling for $200. Now, what's the price of 1 ounce of gold? It's $2,000. What it means is that it will appreciate by time. And so why then do you say that, okay, in an attempt to save my cedi from further depreciating, I am going to use gold in exchange of oil? It is very, very lazy. Like, it does not make sense, because the cost of gold now, government of Ghana buys gold from the mining companies. And so we use our cedi to buy the gold and then keep in our gold reserve. Then now we are saying that we don't want to use the cedi to buy the oil again, so we want to use the gold to buy. Meanwhile, the gold is a precious commodity. You do not use gold for something like this. Rather, what you should be doing is...
But you know the purpose for this initiative, isn't it? To save.
The only purpose is to save the cedi from further depreciating. But it's lazy.
Which is adverse. And
No,
I mean
that it will not. It doesn't work. I am tempted to say it doesn't make sense, but I don't know if it is a right word to use. But forgive me, that's for the lack of a better word. I do not think that the gold for oil is a good policy, because what happens is you have cedi, which you can transform into gold, and you have done that. And now you are telling me that you do not want to use the cedi, so you are using the gold. Meanwhile, you can save this gold and then further trade it for extra money. What you should be doing is to be capacitating your thermal oil refinery, which has been dormant and not working, and you are still paying general managers, you are paying staff. Meanwhile, they are not doing anything. Like, the place is basically dormant, not bringing any revenue, but we are paying people for it. And then you tell me that to save your cedi, you are going to exchange gold for oil. Yeah. It is not fantastic.
Interesting.
It is a lazy approach.
There have been calls to privatize the thermal oil refinery, but we'll get into that. And you outline why you really, maybe some few points as to why you think
I'm ready for you.
It's not a good policy. But I can see Derek itching to counter.
I mean, you see...
But
before Derek comes in, you invite us here as young people to come and share our views on national discourse.
Of course.
But then it looks like once we get here, then we start greeting some godfathers. Then it means that there's already an alignment. But anyways, I am ready for it. Let's yeah.
Reginald, I don't think so. It's okay.
No, I think so.
It's okay to honor your mentors.
No, it is very good. Yeah.
And your seniors. Please, Derek, go ahead.
Shout out to Lord God Almighty.
I beg to differ with what Reginald is saying. Why do I say so? For you to sit here as a young man and say that the gold for oil is a lazy man's approach, and suffice to say it doesn't make sense because you lack a better word, I don't think as young people we should depict that kind of lifestyle or that kind of attitude. We call ourselves the future people, the future generational leaders. And if you are depicting such a lifestyle, far from that, what is about this gold for oil? And I don't know how he understands these issues and his appreciation of these issues. The OMCs demand about $350 million monthly to purchase oil. This gold for oil, or this problem with fuel prices, is about inflation and then the exchange rate. And so if there's a demand for about $350 million every month to purchase oil, and in the wisdom of the economic messiah, His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says that, look, we purchase gold from these mining companies with cedis. And so gold is a precious mineral, as he says. Let's find companies who are willing to trade oil for gold in same measure, in same value. Let's have a barter trade. Let's have an exchange. This wouldn't affect our foreign exchange reserve and all of that. And you sit here and say, it doesn't make sense. What are you trying to tell us? What are you implying? I mean, let's not have a conversation on the tangent with skewed political thoughts. No. But let's tackle the issues as young people, as people who understand issues. We might not be experts, but with a little research will make us appreciate some level of these conversations. The layman's understanding, I have gold. Okay, I won't use the dollar to go and then buy gold, because when the demand for dollar comes in, the price goes up.
Please, I like that you started this, and perhaps a little education. I mean, I'll come to you. But I like that you're going on the layman's tangent. Okay, so please educate us in layman's language how using gold to purchase oil will reflect in the everyday man's pocket. So
this is the problem that we were facing. About 47 or 27 OMCs we have in Ghana demand about $350 million to purchase oil. Basic economic principle: the higher the demand, the higher the price. And so when they are in the chase for $350 million a month, the cedi to dollar escalates because the demand is high. And so when they get that at a value, they buy the oil, they change it based on the current exchange rate to cedis, and then they sell the oil up per that rate that we are experiencing. Now we have gold as a reserve. We have gold. Ghana is blessed with gold. okay, let's find companies who are willing to trade with us in gold and then for oil. I mean, people are also demanding for gold, just as we are demanding for oil. So we purchase the gold in cedis. If an ounce of gold is $2,000, the Bank of Ghana wouldn't purchase the gold in dollars. They'll purchase the gold in cedis.
Point of correction. Point of correction.
Reggie, can I
No,
land?
just for the purpose of our viewers. Anyways, okay.
Permit him to land.
Right.
You're correct.
We purchase our goods in cedis. And by that same...
Is it at the US dollar value?
At a value, I mean, at that value, if it's $2,000. You see, the difference is that we are not going to chase for dollars to purchase the gold.
Right.
But we are using our cedis to purchase the gold.
Okay.
If it is at the same rate, it's different from chasing the dollar with your CD,
right,
and then you would have to go and purchase the gold.
Okay.
So you have your gold in that quantum. You visit the market, the companies who are willing to trade with you in gold and then for oil, you make those exchanges. Right. It's not a matter of about, let's say you have 10,000 ounces of gold, and so the value is $200,000. They're giving you $200,000 cash for you to buy for your oil. No, but you have your gold, the other party has their fuel. There's an exchange.
That's it.
It comes to Ghana, we trade in it, and then at least there'll be a significant depreciation in the value just for the consumer.
Absolutely.
We are not happy about the times that we are in. We are at the crossroad. But I believe that these are things that in the long run, it will reflect in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian. And so for you to say it's a lazy man's approach, it doesn't make sense, and what have you, it's something that is not called for.
Right.
Interesting. Let me quickly, and to add to what you've said, Derek, I mean, it's been said that even just the 41,000 tons of oil that came in is reflecting in some pumps, like Goil and the rest. It's too early to say because they still have some old oil that they're still selling, right?
Yes.
So it's reflecting now. We are seeing some changes. In March, we are told that we'll see more when more consignment comes in, right? So why do you not think that this is a brilliant man's initiative?
All right, so let me just correct some few things, right? As part of the work I do, I have traveled the length and breadth of this country, and I have visited mining sites like the Anglo-Gold Ashanti mines, like that of Newmont and several others. And in no books does Ghana buy gold with cedis. Never.
Well, we are purchasing the gold in cedis now.
No, we are not purchasing the gold in cedis. From the mining companies, we buy them in dollars. And so they even pack it. Yeah? When they are packing it, they pack it either at 12 cedis or even currently at 18 cedis. You can confirm that.
I will confirm
Yes,
that.
you should. And do you know how much Ghana makes when we export gold? We make an average of over 9 billion from exportation of gold. How much do we make from just using our gold to get the oil? Do you know how much we are losing?
I mean, Reginald, I have the
how much was it pegged
official,
at? Yes.
No, not that, but I have the official explanation here, and it says that Bank of Ghana is buying the gold in Ghana cedis through the precious minerals and marketing companies.
The precious minerals
cedis.
The precious minerals company is the sole marketer of gold in Ghana.
Indeed.
And so all the mining companies get their gold to precious minerals. But Ghana does not buy gold in cedis. I also have my document I can also share with you.
No,
and
BOG is buying it in cedis from the PMMC.
They are buying with, so right now if I want to get $1, or if I want to rent a house, and they say they are charging in dollars, it does not necessarily mean that I have to take dollars to go and get it. What it means is that...
This is simple.
No.
What are you saying?
There are people who trade in dollars and there are people who trade in cedis.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if you are trading in dollars, the mining companies sell gold in dollars. And so if you are trading in dollars, you don't necessarily need to come with dollars because Ghana does not have enough dollars in their dollar reserve. And so what we use is, what is the exchange rate they are giving us? They are pecking it at 12 Ghana cedis per dollar.
How much is the dollar today?
They are packing it at 12 cedis per dollar. That is what I'm telling you. So to get the gold, because we do not have enough dollars in our dollar reserve, but we have cedi, they are going to pack it at $1 for 12 cedis. So at the end of the day, are you not buying it in dollars? You are buying it with cedis, but you are buying it in dollars. Like, do you understand what I mean?
Yes, but like
the house you are renting is in dollars, but you are paying with cedis.
Okay.
Exactly. Like,
so you're saying that.
So what I'm saying is that.
Is it robbing Peter to pay Paul?
You say,
is it like robbing Peter to pay Paul?
Exactly, and it is not reflecting.
Reggie, calm down.
Oh, I'm very calm. I am very calm.
Go ahead,
I am very calm, but I'm very passionate about things of this sort because things of this sort really affect us.
Okay.
And something like the Heritage Fund that is supposed to be like a gold reserve for the next generation have already been touched. And so it worries me. Okay. What it means is that the gold that was deposited in our lands for other generations to also come and enjoy, theirs have already been squandered. But that aside, what I'm saying now.
They're saying that you do what's necessary before you do what's important.
No.
You don't think so?
What are you saying?
You don't address what is urgent today before you address what's important maybe later?
No. So what was urgent that we were supposed to use the Heritage Fund for?
Inflation is going high. City is depreciating. We're trying to put our economy.
I mean, you are doing your work. You are doing your work as a host, and I love it. Yeah.
Hearing from you.
You're brilliant by all standards. But what I think is that there was nothing as urgent that we should have used the Heritage Fund for. But I do not want to switch our attention. Now, how much is a ton of gold? 64.3 million. Right? And so if a ton of gold is 63.4 million, that is how much we are supposed to be making when we sell a ton of gold. How much are we getting in return? So a ton of gold, want to use a ton of gold for oil. What is the value now? If this gold is 64.3 million now, and we decide to use this to go and get oil, meanwhile we could have the value when we sell this will be more than what we are getting the oil with. Why then do we do that?
But we're valuing it at the current
because at the end of the day,
I can understand you, Reggie.
Yes.
Reggie, look, I can understand if you say that gold appreciates over the years.
Exactly.
Surely, so if we are exchanging gold for oil, what you're saying, ask for the oil, we'll use it today, and that's it. But these
when you have Tema oil refinery,
will appreciate. I think I understand. Do you see where he's coming from? That perhaps what we shouldn't be using our foreign exchange resource, we shouldn't be using gold. Perhaps I don't know what else we could use, but he's saying that we should use.
Because at the end of the day, you are still using the CD anyways. That is my point too. At the end of the day, you are still using the CD to get the dollar to get the gold. Because they pegged at 12 cedis per dollar to get the gold. I don't know if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Nobody sells gold.
I don't know where Reggie had his interpretations from and his understanding of these issues. Look.
Yeah.
I want $10,000. I go to the forex. They tell me they don't have enough dollars. They are calling a nearby forex for the dollar for me. At the time I went there, the dollar was, let's say, 12 Ghana cedis. But because they are calling the nearby shop and I'm demanding for the dollar, it goes to 13 Ghana cedis. And so the $10,000 I'm to pay about, let's say, 120,000 for, I'm paying 130,000. But this is different from a peg. What you are failing to appreciate is that it is different from a peg. I'm going to pay for my house.
Reggie, relax.
I'm going to pay for my house. The landlord says it's $10,000. He wants $10,000 in cash, as in dollar. And so I go to the forex and I'm to pay about 130,000 to have the $10,000. But I go to the landlord again and he says the dollar is 12 cedis. So give me the 12 cedi equivalent of $10,000. It is different from me going to the forex for that exchange, and that causes the exchange rate to escalate.
Do you get it?
So it's
a system. It's a system thing.
So
you know this.
If dollars are sold,
if there's high demand,
if gold is sold in dollars,
right,
and there's a peg, it is different from having the dollar cash in pounds to purchase the gold.
Because we don't have the dollars.
Yeah, so that's
exactly. That's what I'm still saying. If I need a dollar now and I don't have the dollars and I still give you 12 cedi per dollar to get a dollar to get a gold, it
is pegged. Do you understand what he's saying?
No, I understand what
the conversation becomes different when you need to have dollars in hand.
What is the Bank of Ghana exchange rate now today? What's the Bank of Ghana exchange rate today?
I mean, I have to
it was not up to 12. It was not up to 11. Confirm it. But then we are pecking gold at 12. Are we losing or gaining? If the Bank of Ghana is telling us that we cannot get a dollar, we need like, let's say 10.9 to get a dollar today. And then we as a country, we are rather pecking ours at 12 to get gold and then go and use to get oil. It doesn't make natural balance.
Let's make headway.
Let's make headway. So for me, and the Vice President says the first consignment has come and says the gold for oil. You believe that because he says he's your economic messiah. And yeah, the economic messiah that has brought us to this level. All the same, every Ghanaian has seen the work of the Vice President, and we appreciate him so much. Yeah, we appreciate him so much that he has brought us to this level. He has made us see how incompetent he is. But then we will still try because we have just about a minimum of 1.5 years more to go. And this time, the young people of Ghana will speak. And when we speak, our voices will be heard. Thank you, Godwin.
Do you have any further?
And these young people are the young people who have enjoyed free SHS for about 1.2 million Ghanaians. And so what are you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't get too comfortable when we reduce the conversation to some of these personal attacks and then personality attacks. I don't get too comfortable when we reduce the conversation to that level.
You started it.
I mean, Derek, let's move forward. Some OMCs have been reported to have not reduced the prices of diesel. We have 41,000 tons coming in, and they still haven't reduced the price of diesel. do you see us making headway in the few months? Why are you shaking your head? In the few months, do you see us making headway if more consignments come in? Do you see them?
Yes, I see
at
us
the
making
pumps?
headway. You see, this is a pilot of the project. And so when you are piloting, you are trying, some of these issues needs to come up just so going forward, we know how to correct them. And so I've not seen anywhere in the world where piloting a policy don't come with its own glitches and hitches. Definitely there'll be the glitch, there'll be a hitch somewhere. And so going forward, I'm sure the NPA, the regulator would be at its best and ensure that these OMCs will reduce the fuel price at the pumps. I read a release from their office, I think a day or two ago.
The vice president of NPO.
Yes.
No.
Deputy minister.
Yes.
And then they complain about such issues. And so I'm sure going forward, there will be some careful measures to be taken just so that at the pump, these OMCs will reduce the price of the good for oil, because it's a fantastic policy.
What car do you drive?
So I don't drive a car, but I have a bus that carries me.
Beautiful.
And it's a coaster bus. It uses diesel. And from the month of January 2022 up till now, I have seen how I have been affected drastically by the continuous and persistent increase in the price of diesel. No, just last week the price of diesel was increased. Why should I be happy about?
I mean, it will reflect in the coming, don't you?
But until it reflects, until it gets to the point where it was like 7.5 or whatsoever, then it has not reflected yet. Do you get what I mean? But then you see, we are making it look like gold for oil, and so gold for the oil comes and then it is just getting to us. No, we are still going to pay for it.
Does the negative outweigh the positive in this initiative? Let's look at it.
Yeah.
Do you think that the negatives of this policy outweighs the negative outweighs the positive?
I think that it was not.
Can I tell you the benefits of this?
The benefits of the good for oil, you want to tell me? So I also tell you the bad effects of it, and why I think that it was not really thought into before. Yes, for me, to me,
people,
yeah.
We want to see. I mean,
Let's have a
sometimes
balanced conversation.
when it come up with initiatives, we want to make sure that at least
it's benefits in it.
Exactly. Yes,
and so
to be political about it.
Perfect.
So, do you think that the negatives of this outweighs the positive?
I think we are losing way too much money in this policy than we should have.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be an alternative?
Because the alternative, I have said, the 12 CD you are using to acquire the dollar to get the oil, or to get the gold to get the oil.
You're not acquiring the dollar. I mean, you're saying it's the same rate. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is that money could be used to get the oil now, so you also get foreign exchange from your gold, because that gold is a precious metal that brings you that's appreciated over time.
Do you know, because of this policy, the international oil traders companies are reducing the premium? They're taking on premiums from the oil they're bringing to us. So it helps.
No, they're happy.
And it's making it competitive.
No. You think they are doing it? No business. No, don't not tell you. They're happy. You're giving them gold for oil. They are happy. They know how to keep that, and then later on tell you that come and buy this gold for. They are happy. If you don't know, I'm telling you.
So for you,
it is good. It is like the way Ghana, we are like the second largest producers of cocoa. Meanwhile, we just enjoy 10% of the total revenue that comes from cocoa, because they are happy that you are producing it, and they'll tell you that, oh, we are giving the best price for your raw beans, but then the amount of money they are making from it is way too much. We live in a country where there are institutions that are supposed to be making sure that all these things are checked, but they are not working. That's what I'm saying, that we need, as young people, I think we are not angry enough, and we are getting there. Because for a company like Tema Refinery, it's like a whole city, a whole system that has been set up to manage our oil. In the year 2004, we're fortunate that we discovered oil. We started exploiting our own oil. What happened? We gave room for Chinese to come and help us exploit, which is a good thing. But how much are we enjoying from the total revenue of oil? Close to less than 10% of the total revenue. This is a country as big as Ghana. And we cannot even if we need machineries, we can invest in this. This is what our loans should be used for, and not to be used to pay salaries of people who are in office and are not working. We don't even see them. Ghost people. No. Fat government. No, this is not what our loans should be used for. Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely.
Anyways, let's make headway.
To share the sentiments, lastly on this one before we move to the next one, to share the sentiments of Reginald, don't you think that indeed gold is going to appreciate in the coming years, and perhaps purchasing this oil with gold may not be too much to our advantage, and perhaps you can also touch a little bit on the Tema oil refinery issue?
One thing we are losing sight of is the fact that we are at the crossroad.
Okay.
And when we are at the crossroad, we do what is necessary. In as much as gold is a precious mineral that appreciates over time, what do we need at this moment? what is the solution we need at this moment? What causes the changes in the fuel prices at the pumps? Isn't it the exchange rate? And so if in the interim there is a solution, why should we as young people think that because it is coming from a particular government and so it is wrong? That is not to mean that the attention or the cause for the establishment or the rejuvenating of the Tema Oil Refinery should be put aside. No. Tema Oil Refinery is for Ghana, and attentions must be paid to the re-establishment of Tema Oil Refinery. But until such a thing is done, what are we to do as a people? What are we to do as a government? What are we to appreciate as young people? In the interim, these measures are very necessary. I mean, the gold reserves we have today are not going to be touched. And so what is even the qualms about this whole gold for oil conversation that I don't understand why Reginald has a problem with?
Because I have a problem with it. How do we end this? Quick one. Because when corruption stops, like in the year 2021 alone, we lost over 19 billion Ghana cedis to corruption alone. And up to now, nobody has been brought to book, nobody has been prosecuted. And so you saw the auditor's report on COVID. How much do we lose through COVID? Over $1 billion. Do you understand? Meanwhile, we are saying that we are taking the 61% of COVID tax. What I'm saying is all of these things can stop if the government is really ready to stop it. Up to now, nobody has been prosecuted or arrested for the misappropriation of funds during COVID. Nobody has even been brought to book. And so they feel pompous. Somebody else is thinking that, hey, this person did that, and okay, I'm also going to do that. And they'll do it. Trust me, they'll do it. Anyways, let's go to the next one.
A quick one. You know what is interesting about this government? They don't shield their people who are wrong. What is happening in the Northern Development Authority? What is happening?
Okay.
And so, Reggie, let's not do this to ourselves as young people.
No. It's okay, gentlemen. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So that today is not very chaotic.
Right.
Tomorrow is the last day for the domestic debt exchange program for people to enroll on the domestic debt exchange program. And pensioners are planning to picket at the Ministry of Finance today, Monday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. What time is it? I hear the individual bondholders are also planning to picket at the Ministry of Finance on the 23rd of... 23rd?
Yeah.
Right, 23rd of February as well. How do we make headway with this? I think, first of all, since you haven't been here this year, what's your thought on the domestic debt exchange program?
Okay, so, I mean, it is necessary.
Beautiful. Because
we've gotten to a point where we need to be stiff. But then we also need to be considerate. And we need innovation in handling things of this sort. First off, what I also think is that the pensioners shouldn't be the only people on the streets. If I have my own way, I'll join them, and I'll call on other meaningful Ghanaians to also join them. Because these are our mothers and our fathers, our grandpas, or your friend's dad, you know. And for bondholders to even be involved in this, it is a shame. And currently what is happening is young people are even losing their interest in saving or even investing. I am telling you, I have conversations with young people, and they don't even know where to even put their money anymore. And it's because of this. Like, for you to think that, as for me, I am low on the risk level. And so I want to buy a government bond because over the years, that has been like the trusted one. Government bonds and securities. And then now it comes out that the government is the same person robbing you of your principal and even your interest. It is serious. And for the pensioners, theirs is so serious to the extent that I don't think they say they are going to assemble over 50 of their members. I don't think 50 is not enough. I think we should all join them and make this known because it is our future we are fighting for today. And the exact moment we start thinking about this and knowing that this is as serious as it is, then we'll take things serious. Ghana, currently where we've got into is serious. Yesterday, I was taking a stroll in the evening, trying to get some fruits. And then a woman went to buy fruits. She said, how much is the mango? He said, 10 cedis. Then the woman was like, hey, I'll work for the day and they give me 20 cedis and I take 10 cedis to buy mango. That is the level we've got into. Like, Ghana has become extra difficult to the extent that if today there's a bus here to say that we are taking people from here to Russia, all your staff, everybody here will join and go. Because Ghana is not enjoyable anymore. Ghana is not a place where you want to live and even invest anymore.
All my staff.
Oh, sorry. All my staff. That is what I meant.
Staff,
yeah, all my staff. Yeah, you'll be here in Ghana. Yeah, I mean, you are doing the Lord's work, so you should be here and continue.
Derek, did the government go wrong at any point in this?
What I feel, and in a candid opinion about this whole DDEP, is about the fact that, just as I mentioned earlier, Ghana is at a crossroad. The DDEP is a necessary evil, but I believe that the government shouldn't have an entrenched stance and an entrenched position on these conversations. People thought about their future. People thought about planning in their later days on earth. And so let me make an investment. Just as Reggie said, I think of the lowest risk and then invest in. And I wake up one day and then I'm told that if my bond is maturing in 2023, I receive somewhere 2027
26.
and then later be paid in 2038, 33 and the
I mean,
likes.
they've reviewed that, haven't they?
But at the end of the day, there are pensioners who depend or pay for their medication based on the
interest they receive.
the resources that they receive from pension funds. And so if they're not going to receive their money, even if it's for a year or for 6 months, how are these people going to survive? 60 years and above, how are they going to, it's so worrying. And so I feel the government should open itself up for conversation, for broader consultations, just as they've been extending the deadlines. And shockingly, I've not seen anywhere the government is announcing sanctions for those who fail to subscribe to the DDEP. And so that is also an issue that we need to pay attention to. Okay, if I don't, what are the consequences I'm going to suffer? I mean, what is up for me? But these are things that our attention hasn't got into. And so I think going forward, these are questions we need to be asking. I feel the government should open itself up for broader conversations and, if possible, exclude the pensioners. That is a passionate appeal. Because if people are paying for their medications on these things, and then if people are feeding themselves and then their little family they have out of the pension funds, and then for about 4 or 5 years they're not going to receive their money, it's worrying. Honestly, it's worrying, to say the least.
An extension of the program, it ends tomorrow, doesn't it? They've
Yeah,
extended to
tomorrow,
7th February.
7th February.
Okay, so do you agree that, so for instance, you were saying that the pensioners should be exempted. What about the individual bondholders who are also calling for exemption, and the other parties that are calling for exemption, should they be exempted? Or for you, you just think that the time should be extended so that there's enough consultation?
For the individual bondholders and then the individual bondholders, for instance.
Somebody has to sacrifice for this, no?
Yes. For the individual bondholders, for instance, I read on the news portal, they are exempted if you are above 59 years. And so if an individual bondholder is being exempted for age of about 59 years, what about these pensioners who are 60 years and the likes? I mean, my passionate appeal is about the pensioners. But just as I mentioned earlier, the government should open itself up for broader conversations, for broader consultation, listen to the experts' advice. We know we are at a crossroads. Somebody needs to sacrifice. At any point in time, Dr. Isudanaba has a book that he's written, The Savior's Mandate. And so in any family, there's a savior. Somebody needs to sacrifice for something to be possible. And so, yes, definitely some people need to get into the books. But which people? Let's compare the risks involved, and then let's make a decision as a people.
Yeah, speaking on the matter of sacrifice, if you ever want somebody to sacrifice, then it should start from home. The government should start with the sacrifice, and then we'll be happy to follow suit. And so if the government has relaxed and feels that they are comfortable with the big size government, and so they are rather going to exert or put that pressure on the ordinary bondholders, then it's not fair. Because these individual bondholders also decided to buy these bonds for something important. Of course, some of them had plans of building, some of them have plans of marriage, some of them have serious plans why they decided to invest their monies and maybe stay hungry for some time. And for you to also tell them that they expecting the money to grow up to this level within this particular period of time, and then you tell them that, oh no, I am going to 2027. No, I don't think it is fair. I think they should also be consulted, maybe a 50% now, and then later on they spread that one over the period of years. Then it means that they are meeting them halfway. And then the government of Ghana also deciding that we are also part of the problem, and so we are going to start solving the problem from within as well. Then we'll be all happy, and then we move together. And yeah, you do not be a leader where you only want your followers to suffer. You should also bear the consequences.
Okay, quickly, let's touch on the last one, and then we can go. Some of us, when we go and buy electricity, we don't really take the receipt to look at what has been increased and all that, but we know that the PRC has increased electricity and water tariffs. Could you touch on it briefly before we go? The IES is talking, and they're saying that the increment is just based on assumptions. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think the IES is as a think tank that is more interested in energy, and so whatever they say we are supposed to take into consideration. But then again, I mean, electricity has increased, water has increased, mobile data has increased, And so there is so much pressure on the ordinary person. Meanwhile, how much was, how much was minimum wage increased to? It was minimum wage, when you really calculate, was rather decreased. Do you get what I mean? And so the ordinary person has not received an increase in salary, but then all this pressure has increased. In fact, the average cost of living has increased. And so the IES is saying that the Akosomo Dam and then the Bui Dam, currently they are experiencing an increase in water level. And so they can produce more energy. And so if they can produce more energy, the expected percentage that they can produce is about 38%. And so let's switch our attention there. Let's make sure that this energy that they are producing, that is what we are distributing to the homes, and stop the mixing. Because now we are using thermals, and these thermals are expensive, and because of the exchange rate, again, which the government has failed in dealing with, that is also affecting the energy crisis. And so everything that the IES is saying is right. But then it is still in conjunction with the government of Ghana and how they have failed in their complete administration process of the country.
Derek, finally.
Yes, the PURC announced the increment in water and then electricity tariffs. But I ask myself one question. Concerning the operational cost of these organizations, consider the water company. Look at how much they need to spend on alum and chlorine working on our water bodies because of Galamsey. This is a passionate appeal. Let's start a campaign against these activities, and not based on government or political influences. When you drive from Accra to Kumasi and you look at the water bodies along the roads, you would appreciate the fact that these things are deteriorating with time. And these are the same water bodies that are being worked on for us. And so if they are spending so much in making sure we get clean and potable water in our homes, I'm sure that the operational cost goes up. And at the end of the day, it's you and I, the end users, are going to pay for that. Look at the issues of electricity. Fine, whatever the IES is saying, they are experts, and so we might take into consideration. But let's count the number of houses that are operating illegal electricity. The amounts are not traced, and so it is shared for us to pay.
ACG was at my house, I think, 2 weeks ago. They came around to check, connections and all that.
So they should rather check that. Why do I suffer?
And so, Reggie, if you find somebody doing it in your vicinity, report them.
Of course. So why should I pay the penalty?
That's not the only problem. That's not the only reason why.
That is not the only reason why. There are several other reasons why. You are talking about Galamsey. How did we get here?
He's talking about tackling the problem from
the root cause, and that's true. And now he's saying that we should take off political. It is the same political leaders that are having consignments in this. I have traveled to Galamsey side too, and I know those who own them. I speak on authority because I have been there, I have seen the operations, and I know how it is affecting. I have a story on how the River Atobra has been destroyed so much that it is even affecting the Sama district, the sea, and the fact that they are not even getting fishes to even capture. So I know what I'm talking about. And these are people in authority that are doing that. And so you and I cannot just, we can start a campaign, all right, but they also need to set up. They also need to make sure that Ghana, they should also think about Ghana to an extent.
We're not angry enough. Maybe we should be angry for them.
Yeah. No, and very soon you see that. Because right now where we've got into, anyways, thank you.
Anyways, what's happening with you this year? Any projects, any new thing?
Yeah, so there are so many things happening, and these are all in line with youth developments. And so in May, we'll be having the Ghana Youth Conference, and that is to bring every Ghanaian youth into one room. We are going to discuss our own country and then find way forward. And it all draws from the bottom line of we being denied a seat on the table. And so as young people, what we want to do is to create our own table and then discuss our own issues. And so it is our country. We are going to own our country. We are soon going to control our country and make our country a better place for ourselves and the next generation. So this is happening in May.
We're having dialogue.
Yes, we'll have dialogues. And then this one, we are not inviting any political figure. We just want young people in a room. Let's discuss our country.
Don't go and share TMB.
Somebody like Derek who has interest in leadership and governance. We want other young people like him just to come and put your political color away. Let's discuss our country as young people. In August, we'll have the World Young Leaders Forum at the UPSA hostel. We are bringing other young people across the globe just to come and discuss their world as well. And so this is what is happening with me this year. Beautiful. And then continue with my work with the School for International Training.
Beautiful. Programs coordinator at the School for International Training, Reginald Achesu Boateng. How do we join you in this? Are you on social media?
Yes, I am on social media as Officer Reginald everywhere. Facebook, IG,
So reach
Officer
out to
Regional.
you.
Yes, reach out to me, and then I'll gladly put you on board, and then we work together.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Derek, aside being a youth activist, what else do you do?
Well, I'm the executive director for JS Infinity Foundation.
Okay.
And as part of the things we do, on the 17th of February, we are visiting the Zulinzu community to speak to the kids over there to distribute items, exercise books, and the likes. I'm also a researcher, and then I'm a consultant for NGOs as well as foreign direct investors.
Beautiful. Derek, Ejikum, thank you so much. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hope to do this again.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.